going on? Right, so today I've come to work in our G-Wagon. If you're wondering why, it's because it's that time that we continue with the huge sound system that the car has and finish it off, because I didn't really get around to doing it properly. We spoke about potentially putting speakers in the rear glass here, so we're going to remove that, put speakers in like that on a Perspex panel, 2 tweeters. We may still do that. The only reason why I'm going to leave that for the moment is because this obviously takes quite a bit of time, and I'm not really sure if I want to go that route with it at the moment. So what we're going to do is do something that will take a lot less time, will be a lot quicker, and if you come around and check it out, you can see, so this is our door panels at the moment, so you can see it's got an 8-inch and 2 6.5s both sides, and although this is PA speakers and it's their flagship top of the line range, when you've got subwoofers like that inside, it totally drowns out the mids and tops. A bit difficult to see from here, but that's obviously the subwoofer box. If you come around the back, you can see where the box comes up to. It takes a great deal of space. These are 4 custom made lithium batteries that's been made for me according to the spec of the sound system. You can see the logos on there, and we've got the space in the middle for one more, so this is just going to get pushed over. One more battery is going to sit here, then I'm going to make a battery tray that will clamp it all down nice and solid. These here are for our independent power supplies that we use, so we don't have to keep the car running, but like I said, it drowns out the mids and tops, and on the outside you can't really hear a lot of what I'm playing apart from the bass. So what we're going to do is create a custom panel that's going to sit on the A-post both sides. Because of the size of the car and the width of the screen and stuff like that, it's not going to really obscure my vision at all. So we're going to make a panel that's going to sit around here with 3 or 4 4-inch mids and tweeters all sat in there like that, which will basically face out the window. So they'll be here, you'll see the panel here, the speakers will be like that, and then everyone outside will be able to get to enjoy what I'm playing inside. Yeah, let's take you inside, show you what's going on. Let's start off with actually this GTR here. So this is a Edition Kream My 17 complete build that we did previously for a client. The car was then sold on, and a new client now owns the vehicle. And very shortly after they bought the car, they lost control and smashed it. As you can see, it's pretty severe. It needs all the whole front end replacing. The bonnet survived, but the front end, bumper, front wings, all the under trays, including the rear. It's a bit difficult to see now, but if you look over here, you can see the back end's completely smashed. So all of that needs replacing as well. But this is going through insurance at the moment, so once that's authorised for repair, we can crack on and get that done. Let's take you inside, see what's going on. This is real exciting stuff. The RF wide body that we built, that you guys saw on display at Allsville International. This is the car that was on the rotating platform. It's now been completely stripped apart because the body kit's our factory being moulded, so we can recreate it in complete carbon fibre and then reinstall it on the car and then paint it up. But at the same time, whilst that's being done, the customers opted to go with a twin turbo conversion. So we'll talk about that in a minute, but Chris is working on that as we speak. If you look behind the table, you can now see this is all Johnny stuff for his Lamborghini Huracan. So if you remember in the last vlog I showed you this made out of wood. I mean, just look at that. How well has that come out? It looks so good. I'm really happy with that. So the subwoofers are obviously going to be bolted down here. The amplifier that runs the entire system in the car will be mounted in the front boot, but the subwoofer ones, one amplifier for the subwoofer is dedicated solely for the subwoofers, will be mounted behind one of the seats. This is the air tank. Now, the story behind this is this was actually done previously before he authorized us to go ahead and do the custom audio install. So when this was first done, it was done like that, designed to sit literally behind the passenger seat on display. But now we've incorporated it to be fitting into the subwoofer enclosure, which means we need to cut the legs, reposition them. And then make this cover for it again, because now the logo is in the wrong place. But I'll show you what I mean. This will basically be sitting in here like that. Which looks really cool, right? I'm going to paint the tank as well, that's going to be glossed back. But this will all be shifted around to here. So the logo will be in the middle. But yeah, I'm like super happy with how that's turned out. These are some armrests for the door cards. You can just see how beautifully stitched that is. And again, just loads more interior parts. Again, do you remember I showed you the door panel? That's the 6.5 inch mid. That's going to go there. That's the custom panel that we created to go into the door card. Again, you've got the sun visors. I mean, just look at the tightness and the quality of that. It's been done so well. It's more or less there now. Chris is working on the car today. Let's take a quick look at that. Okay, so Chris is working on the audio install. I'm doing the front tub. We're mounting the big amp in there. It all looks a bit of a mess at the moment, but it all makes sense to us. But what we're going to do is, because the front tub on this car, actually I'll explain that on the table in a minute. Shall I do that on the table? Yeah, I'll do that on the table. That's better. So Chris is working on the audio install. He's actually running the live cabling that's going to be running the main subwoofer amp. The big amp's going to be going in the front tub. I'll show you all about that in a minute, what we're doing. We're installing the Helix GSP, which is a digital sound processor. It's literally the best thing on the market. It actually says the awards that it's been winning, best product 2022, 2023. It's absolutely amazing for those top high-end builds, and for those people that are after, you know, the best sound quality. Then this is definitely something you need. This is what I'm going to be using to split the Lamborghini's audio signal and allow me to run amplifiers, external amplifiers. So that's what we're going to be installing. And if you come around here, I mean, there's not really a lot to see at the moment. But of course, those speakers are going to be coming out. The new door panel is going to be going in. Chris has already run cabling. That's going to be running the DSP. But the main task for today is literally just get all the wiring done, get the DSP installed, and all in all, just get basically the audio system side of things all done. And that way, once that's done, we can then get the interior refitted up. So it's looking good. Here you will see the black chrome calipers now reinstalled on the car, front and back. We just got to get the Lamborghini badges on there, and that's that completed. And exterior wise, there's not anything else going on, is there? Oh, and then we will finish this car on the neon lights that he's asked for. So it's going to have underglows on the car, and at the same time we're going to glow up his engine bay area, so you can sort of see a glow through the vents you can see on this rear panel. Other than that, all we've got left to do is the number plate flippers, front and rear. That's it. Okay guys, so if you are wondering what we are doing here, as you can see, Boost Logic. This is their twin turbo conversion from the States. And ANSA has decided now, this is the wide body R8 by the way, ANSA has decided to do a twin turbo conversion to it. So this is the first one that we're doing for any of these sort of supercars that have these twin turbo conversions made by various different companies now. On the Lamborghini Huracan and the R8, it's the first one that we're going to be doing. So it's kind of like we're going with the flow. Everything seems to be working pretty well. Chris is doing a fantastic job, as always, under my guidance, of course. Yeah, he's doing a really good job so far with it. We're basically just going through the instructions and just going with it. All the lines are have been fitted. The oil and water lines have been fitted. But there's a few discrepancies on this kit, so we're having to do some custom fabrication work ourselves. Because of the fact that there's two different spec vehicles, European and American, and this has been designed for the American market. So the headers, which is the exhaust manifolds, are different. They're in a different position, which basically mean that if I try and fit it to the European kit, it throws the turbo out and puts the whole thing in a different position. The downpipes that they've supplied also have got the incorrect flanges on them, so we've cut that, had that modified, and that's all sorted. So that will bolts on and fits. But if you come around this side, let's just screw that away a minute, you'll see the big issue we have is, although this is now bolted and fitted to the European header, look at that gap, it's completely wrong, well out of position. So what I've asked Chris to do is put the turbo on, so we know that's the true location of the turbo, that's exactly where it's going to be sitting, with all the framework that's holding it in place. And now we know where we need to make the mod, or how much we need to extend it by. So we've got our friends at Push Performance come to see us on Tuesday, who are custom exhaust fabricators, and they do this sort of thing for a living. They actually make their own twin turbo conversion kits for these cars as well, which is all sort of built and made in house. And we're going to be talking about doing a custom conversion to my Lambo. But before that, they're going to be coming in to help sort this problem out, because the solution to this at the moment is, if we can't fix this, then we've got to drop the engine, take the European headers off, the manifolds, and replace them with American spec ones, which is basically a ball ache. It's a big job, and we're trying to not get into that right now, unless we absolutely have to. What I'm thinking of doing here is a much better solution, and I'm pretty hopeful that we're going to be able to get over it. But yeah, so far so good. Everything's pretty much mounted up now, and Chris is going to finish mounting the rest up, and then once the modifications carried out, we'll just do the final bit of plumbing, and we should be good to go. Here is the front tub for the Lamborghini Huracan, and if you're wondering why it's all been chopped up like this, there's a very good reason for that. So this is the amplifier that's going in. This is Vibes top of the line 6-channel amplifier from their Ceven range, CVEN, and that sits in there like so. Now the reason why we've had to cut this back section off is because this tub also contains the ice cooler for the twin turbo kit, and he needs to be able to access that in order to use it. Underneath that is also the flap for the battery, so if the car's got any issues and they need to get to the battery, it needs to be accessible. So I can't just put that there and leave it as a permanent fixture, because then it becomes a problem, especially if he breaks down and all that sort of stuff. But ultimately he needs to be able to get to his ice cooler. So I had to come up with a plan. Unfortunately, due to the size of this amp, there's actually nowhere else in the car that we can install it. It has to go here. So if I remove this now out of the way, you'll see what I'm doing. Okay. So this is the section that we've cut off. That went there like that. So we've taken that out of the way. That's now rubbish. But obviously it's made this all a little bit flimsy, you know. So we've then gone and created this and just beat it out of metal. That is now going to sit in there, and that's going to be nut and bolted up. Obviously it's going to be covered, so we're going to use the same sort of carpet they've got here on that, so everything will look nice. Now that will obviously put all the strength back in to this tub, make it nice and solid, and that will then allow us to mount the amplifier. Amp will then go back in there like that. But now that we've got the strength there, we can put two hinges on the back, and with a leather strap it will lift like so. Okay, the loom will basically come off the amp and it will run under the amp nicely and into the tub out of the way, giving complete access to the battery, to the ice cooler and whatever else. At the same time, I'm going to be installing two points where you can easily jump start the car if necessary, rather than going to the battery, which on these cars is not that simple anyway. And with the fact that it's obviously got this big amp in the way and it's got the ice cooler box in the way, it makes it that much more, a little bit difficult, do you know what I mean? So we're going to put these two sort of points which you can buy that are specifically for jumping on the inside here. Install them to the side, and we're also going to be installing a oh shit, what's it called, Chris? Yeah. Okay, so at the same time we're going to be installing a C-Tech charger as well, charging point should I say, and as you can see here, this is the charge. Actually, sorry, that's what's going to be installed somewhere in the front grille area of the front bumper. That will literally allow John to make sure his battery is always charged up. So you simply just, wherever you park, it's waterproof, you just plug it in and run it to the mains, and that way the batteries are always kept tip top. But anyway, so you can see what we're doing here. That is the plan of action, the action of the plan. So hopefully it's kind of going to plan at the moment, everything's working well. But the proof will be in the pudding when everything is all bolted up and mounted up, the amps installed, all wired in, and you can lift it up and you go but I might look at putting two rams on here as well, you know, like a bonnet, but the two ram shock absorbers to lift it up. So I'm thinking about actually doing something like that too. But again, we'll be trial and error. We're gonna have a go, have a little bit of fun with it, and see what I got, fam. Right guys, I'm gonna love you and leave you. I've got to do the school run now to pick up my babies. It's been a tough day as it is. There's literally just me and Chris working here today. Paul's off sick, Dave's on holiday, so is Andrew, and Shabs is at a hospital appointment with mother. Nothing to worry about, so all good. But nonetheless, I've got to go. Peace and love, as always, and see you guys on the next vlog. Peace.